And good morning, nerds. Welcome to today's stream. It is not a Dungeons and Dragons stream. Instead, it is a DaggerHeart stream. DaggerHeart released, I think it was the 20th of last week. I believe it was like Monday or Tuesday. And we are taking a look at the. This is our very first playthrough of DaggerHeart, and we have no clue what to do, but we are following um, the we're following the text. We're gonna figure it out, and we're gonna make some characters. Session 0, and maybe even play the tutorial campaign. They have a tutorial campaign, which is actually kind of really cool,
Oh,
especially because the tutorial campaign, I was reading through it. It's so simple, even to the point where it says things like we're totally just jumping into this. To the point where it says like stuff like say this to your players go grab these certain dice, and it like it breaks it down into like how I would like
that's
talk to you
cool.
guys. But okay, but my name is Nathan. I'm the game master of today's session. I'm no longer dungeon master. I'm just a game master now. If that feels like a demotion. But who are you? Who are you, Megan?
I'm Megan. I am still uh, a game
You've been
player.
you've been
So,
demoted to play your character if you look at the stream.
oh
But
yes, I'm.
wanna know what's crazy though? Wanna know what is crazy? In the tutorial, in the quick start adventure, one of the pre-made characters it gives you, their name is Marlowe. And I was
Are
like,
you kidding
isn't
me?
that wild? Marlowe Fairwind. And I can kind of pull this over here. And I don't know what I need, honestly, for the stream. And so I don't know if like the screens that I have are gonna be enough. But if I go to the virtual tabletop and I slide like that, this is the character, the Marlowe Fairwind, a lowerborn elf sorcerer. Like, no way are they named
Interesting.
Marlowe. I mean, there's an E at
That's
the end.
hilarious.
There's an E at the end here, so it's different. But okay,
Cool.
so
Um, this stream is definitely going to showcase how much I rely on Nathan and how little I do myself.
hey,
Um,
hey, isn't that the job of a player character and a game master? We're just seeing it firsthand now. Okay, so I have both the physical book in front of me as well as the digital version that I can kind of help. I'm hoping to allow some people to at least see what we're looking at because there needs to be some sort of like visual quality to this stream. If I'm not allowed to show a digital version of the book, I hope I don't get in trouble. But like my one fear is that someone's sitting here in the lobby scribbling down everything and getting the book for free. So if you're scribbling the book down, don't do it. Um, but I
it's
mean, it really is beautiful. Like I've been reading this book for the last week, as often as a man with two kids can do, and it's so dramatically different. It feels so dramatically different from Dungeons and Dragons, but familiar enough that it's like a nice like jumping off point. It's really really cool.
okay. I mean, it from the little that I've seen when Critical Role would do their um, DaggerHeart campaigns, it didn't see it didn't feel too far off from Dungeons and Dragons. You were still rolling dice. It was still like a tabletop RPG. So the only thing I feel like will get me a little bit is the fear and the hope.
And
Um,
honestly, it's not too difficult once it actually gets broken down, because I'm sure it hasn't actually been broken down for you. And so, I mean, I guess at this point, what do you know so far of Daggerheart? Just because I know you haven't done too much research into it, we're going to be learning it together.
um, I think of what I said. It's a role-playing game.
Oh yeah,
You roll some dice, you make a character,
hell yeah, hell yeah.
and um, yeah. What else is there to know?
Honestly, honestly. Okay, but yeah. So ultimately, when it comes to Daggerheart, maybe we should just start with. You want to start with like basic game mechanics, or you want to start with making a character first?
Sure, let's go basic game mechanics.
Okay, basic game mechanics. To the best of my knowledge, this will show how much I'm actually able to regurgitate what I've been reading for the last little bit. So, so the main kind of proper, I'm trying to like see where I can pull. Like I'm looking at my book. But the main kind of roll, it's an action roll, which is going to be pretty much the only rolls you make in the game besides damage dice, and like hit dice and everything. These action dice are 2d12s that you roll whenever you are making a decision that would have consequences or would alter the story. If that makes sense. These two d12s must be differentiated between hope and fear. Now, when you roll these two d12s, you add the number on both dice together, and that's the number that you achieve plus any modifiers that you have in the certain circumstance. And depending on what dice rolls higher, decides what you roll with. And so so for example, it's like if it's a 3 and a 5. I don't know why I picked two numbers I couldn't do 5, 6, 7, 8. Is you roll an
Same
8.
thing. Just so you know, you said that I rolled 2d12s and
No
I
way.
rolled a 3 and a 5.
No way. It's meant to
No,
be.
yeah,
It's meant to be.
no joke.
And so
No
if
joke.
you're so together it's an 8. You've scored an 8 on that action roll. If the hope dice rolled the 5 and the fear was the 3, then you've rolled an 8 with hope. If it's the other way around, if the fear dice rolled with the 5, then you've rolled an 8 with fear. Now you can succeed on a check with fear, or you can also fail a check with hope. So like this, just because you roll hope doesn't mean that you automatically succeed. So how it pretty much is broken down, and I've seen it a couple times, is that if you succeed with hope, you get everything you want. I mean, ultimately within reason, of course. But like if you're trying to like scale a building and you roll high with hope, you scale the building, easy peasy. If you succeed with fear, you get what you want, but there is a consequence. Like for example, if you're trying to scale this building, as you're crawling up, some of the bricks are like coming out of the building, and it kind of prevents an easy climb up for the next people, or like if the rest of your party is trying to climb, or like you get what you want, but there's a catch with it, or like like if you're interrogating someone, you don't get all the information you need before something happens. If you fail with hope, you don't get what you want, and like some consequences like like you don't get what you want or it isn't successful. And if you fail with fear, you don't get what you want, and there are drastic consequences that kind of follow it. And so it's the duality dice kind of adds more, I'd almost would say more options to succeeding. And I've found, and this is just my opinion, this is my opinion. I wish I could flash something across the screen, my opinion here, but DaggerHeart's mechanics feel not simpler than Dungeons and Dragons, but like still achieve the same thing in a more palatable way. Like I feel like if you were rolling a d20 and like the range of numbers you can get on a d20, like you get into like the 5, like the 1 through 5, that's a failure with dire consequences in my mind. And then like 5 through 10 is like that you didn't make it, but it's not that bad. And then like the 10 through 15 is like you get what you want, and that's about it. And then the 15 through 20 is like oh wow, you did it, like it's fantastic, critical 20 or everything. But like that is kind of up to DM speculation, and it's kind of hard to get like a unified like play style like amongst multiple DMs, because it's all how they interpret D20. With the duality dice, it kind of makes it more palatable, at least from a GM's perspective, of like things can go well but not well at the same time, and things can go bad and horribly bad. And so in my opinion, I like the duality dice because I feel like it compartmentalizes like the 4 different options of how a situation can go, which I think is really cool. But the best part is, if the dice roll and then the same number, no matter what number, it's a critical success. So even if you roll 2 1s, it is considered a critical success, and you get everything you want and then some. That's just me saying. I don't think you actually get and then some.
And that with like regardless, it's hope with hope, like critical success with hope, or is it just a critical success?
So when you do a critical success, I'm trying to find the where is the critical success here? Duality dice 90s, because there's extra pieces that come with the critical. So okay, and also there's extra things here. When you roll a success with hope, you gain a hope,
Yeah.
And if you roll a success with fear or a failure, if you roll anything with hope, you gain a hope even if you fail a check. If you roll anything with fear, the GM earns a fear point, which I can use against you, which I think is crazy. And I've actually read some of these monster stats in here that like some of them are like, oh, GM spend a fear point to have them like do this like special ambush move or like special. And I'm like, I think that's kind
Oh.
of really cool to that I can like be earning points throughout this thing. But let's see. Where is the critical success? Okay, when you roll the duality dice and both dice roll for the same number, that is a critical success. A critical success counts as a roll with hope, even if you would have otherwise failed because the total is lower than the roll's difficulty. When you critically succeed on a roll, along with gaining a hope, you also clear a stress from your character sheet. So when you critical succeed, you also clear a stress from your character card, which we'll get into in a little bit. Additionally, when you critically success on an attack roll, you deal an extra damage as described in the damage roll section on page 98. And when it comes to damage, when you get a critical success on the damage, you roll the regular. So, like for example, if your short sword is a D6 damage, you would roll your D6 and then add the maximum number allowed on that dice. And so if the short sword is a D6, you would roll a D6 plus a 6. If it was like
Oh.
I haven't actually looked at the weapons yet, but like if it's like a D8 that you're rolling, you'd roll a D8 and then add an 8 to it. Like it really, I've noticed that it really scales as you level up and as you get bigger, because like it's not necessarily an armor class. It's a threshold, it's a damage threshold. And so there are 3 different types of damage you can take. So I guess there's technically you can either take melee physical damage or magical damage, but within those those damages, there's 3 different tiers you can get: minor damage, major damage, and severe damage. And that all depends on your damage threshold. And so there's certain armor here. I'm looking at this, bam, right here, right in the book. So you'll see sometimes there's a threshold. It'll say like a number / a number. For example, this one says 8/16. If somebody is rolling against you, and like if an attack is going and it does, let's say 10. If they roll a 10 on their attack dice, your threshold is 8, which means that since 10 is higher than 8, it is major damage, and you mark 2 HP like lost. And so that gets a little that feels a little more complicated in my mind than I guess maybe I just have to get used to it and everything. And then, for example, with a 16, if they roll a damage higher than a 16, that is considered severe damage, and you mark 3 HP. But with your armor, you'll have a certain number of armor slots. If you're able to, go to DaggerHeart.com and go to their downloadable sections, and then pull up the character sheets. I don't know if you're able to look. I'm sure there's a character sheet in the core rulebook if you're looking through it. But there's a downloadable section on DaggerHeart, which has a whole bunch of cool templates and stuff. But they have a whole character sheet file, and you might be able to follow along with some of the things I'm saying. But some certain armors will have certain armor slots allotted to you, and you can use an armored slot to decrease the level of damage. So for example, if someone deals severe damage to you, you can use an armor slot, or I guess however many armor slots you want, to decrease that damage down thresholds. So I could use 1 armor slot to move it from severe damage to major damage. That way I only have to mark 2 HP instead of 1 HP, instead of 3 HP, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
That felt like a lot of word scramble to you. And we're just kind of jumping back and forth. I'm just starting to look through all this. But yeah, there's all sorts of. So the number one thing is the action roll. Back to where I was at, which comes with the duality dice, rolling with fear and hope. And then I'm trying to think of anything that's like majorly important. Besides like active weapons, hope. When you have hope, you can use those hope points for certain like spells and certain
Yeah, I think I saw one. Like, healing field. Spend 2 hope to allow you and all allies to clear 2 hit points instead.
Oh yeah. And I'm looking at the book here. Using hope, you can use points of hope for certain things like helping an ally, utilizing an experience. So you can use a hope to utilize an experience. But I think the experiences are really, really cool. Side tangent, just so I can discuss this. The DaggerHeart, the biggest thing that I find very, very interesting about this is that I feel like, and it's almost like I didn't realize this before, and I don't know if I'm just riding the high off of like this brand new book with it being from Critical Role, and that I'm just like I could never say anything wrong about DaggerHeart. But the biggest thing I feel like now stepping away kind of from Dungeons and Dragons, and I've looked at other systems as well, but Dungeons and Dragons feels very adding a sense of realism to a fantasy world where there's like all like depending on what like the weapon you have, like you can do slashing damage, bludgeoning damage, acid damage, and like it tries to account for everything where it's like the oh here's your persuasion checks and your deception checks and your and like they all have different stats in a way, um and like the DM is like in charge of like making this entire world that kind of operates within the system. Daggerheart just like is the name of the game is playing kind of loose with the rules to the point where like if you look at the different like stats and everything like agility, strength, finesse, instinct, there's no long list of all the different actions of like animal handling and medicines because like it just kind of all boils down to the same thing. Like if you are good with your presence, you're good with charm, dominant, like what is it? Charm, perform, and deceive. Like anything that kind of just like falls underneath the presence and like charisma, dare I say, I just kind of rolls into the same thing. Like you don't have to like break it down into like a I have a proficiency in intimidation, but like not the rest of my like charisma. Like it kind of just it plays fast and loose with the games. But one thing I find crazy here, and this is the point I was trying to make, in the quick start adventure, for example, you start off, spoiler alert, you start off riding a caravan through woods.
So
Spoiler.
are we saying Skyrim? Is that one?
Hello, traveler. You finally woke us.
Yeah.
But like to the point where um, it's encouraged to have you describe what the trees look like. Like it, like and just removing the burden of like the GM planning and describing everything.
Yeah.
I literally have like, oh, you're walking through the carriage. Megan, what do the trees look like around you? Or like, there's an example when you later get into a town. Ask the players why the second floor looks radically different than the first floor. And I'm like, that's interesting.
cool.
Like that you would that it just feels so much more inclusive
Yeah.
of the players. And honestly, inclusivity is like the name is also if Daggerheart could have multiple names of the games, it would be fast and loose with the rules and inclusivity. There's a whole section on how to play characters with disabilities, like deaf and blind and like limb impaired, and also in the weapon section you could make an armored wheelchair. I'm like,
Oh, that's cool.
that sounds tempting. It really is.
Well,
But yeah,
oh, sorry. I was just surprised when I was reading through the languages. So first that you don't have to pick specific languages.
I saw
It's
that.
just
I was like, what?
assumed everyone speaks the same language. But also that sign language is widely understood within the communities. So not only is it like verbal, but that was something new because usually in
Yeah.
D&D you have to say like, because I know
I
Isabel, she
yeah.
she spoke sign language during one of our campaigns, but
Yeah, I didn't notice that. Yeah,
this one everyone is
just
assumed to
is
be able to
included,
speak it. Yeah.
and it does kind of get around. I I mean, if you want to start going down like some of the rabbit holes of like Dungeons and Dragons trying to kind of like pivot and maneuver from their like race traits and like I know they were trying to step away from like the oh like race abilities and everything. We're trying to like this one really just kind of removes it like with the two things you choose during character creation is like what do you look like and where were you born type thing, like in the most like general way possible, like order born or lower born. It's like were you born underground, were you born in a civilization that like liked military, like, and it just like there's hardly any sort of like it, the whole game in itself is vague enough, but like that just that allows everyone to be included, but has enough rich possibility for story that it doesn't feel like oh like what is in this game, like it doesn't give me anything, like because it gives you a whole bunch of stuff, but it's all open enough for interpretation and open enough for like it just really just feels like anyone, cause I feel I don't know. I'm trying to formulate thoughts here that I've been having in my brain for the last like week. If I'm trying to think about teaching a person how to play Dungeons and Dragons, there's lots of kind of different steps I have to go through, and like lots of and while it is kind of simple, and I've tried to like make it as simple as I can, DaggerHeart is built how I teach people to play Dungeons and Dragons originally, where I just kind of like, what do you want to do? Okay, you would roll this and this and this, and I have to translate between like what are you looking to do and how does that fit in with the game. This game just feels easy enough to pick up from the get-go because it's just like, what do you want to do? You have like 7 different options to pick from, rather than Dungeons and Dragons. It's like, okay, let's find the 25 different things that you can do. What you're trying to do fits most like this one, and so I don't know if that really made sense, but it feels simple enough that anyone can pick it up, vague enough that it can feel meaningful to anyone, but still easy enough for a dungeon master or a game master, to make a meaningful and interesting world, which I think is like a crazy amount of being able to hit all 3 of those things feels crazy in my mind. And because I just felt like, just from my personal opinion, when I first was trying to start playing Dungeons and Dragons, and I had and I just decided to become the forever DM, pick up my very first. It was the Mines of Phandelver. I was reading through all this stuff, and I'm like, I have no clue how I'm going to run the session and be like pay attention to the lore of Dungeons and Dragons, and also teach players, like brand new players, how to play this game that I've never played before. This feels much easier to get into than Dungeons & Dragons. I don't know if it's just because I feel more familiar with tabletop role-playing games, or the fact that it feels very easy. And now we've talked for how long? 20 minutes, and we haven't done a single thing. So let's, any other kind of core rules that you have either run into or have heard about that you're curious about, or do you want to just kind of jump into character creation?
See, yeah, let's just jump into it. I'm sure if I find something that confuses me, I will let you know.
Hell yeah. So, in that case then, let's take a look here. And
Oh, I did want to point out, if you go to page 10, I was just going through it, and but there were so many people, this guy specifically, that I think was drawn for Marianne.
oh no. Does she like cat people? He does have just a very nice presence. He just feels so comforting.
And he's big, that's her
very
thing. He's big. He looks like he could lay it down, but also, be sweet and gentle.
He looks wise in more ways than one. Like he looks experienced. With that pipe that he's in, like, have you shown Marianne that photo?
I haven't, but I saw it and I was like, oh, she would like him.
Speaking of, the art is very, very good throughout this entire thing.
It's so nice.
It is so good.
It's very beautiful. And for those out there, my wife Marianne is someone who read Machoke fanfic and decided.
Hey, I mean, it was decently good fanfic though. Like I will admit, this is the image that we're looking at. This is page 10. It doesn't have any description on it, but it is very nice looking. Very nice looking. So. Okay, so very first thing when it comes to making a character is going to be choosing a class. Have you looked at the classes at all?
I have. They all feel,
very, very familiar.
Similar.
Very. There's nothing too crazy here. Actually, if you look at the DaggerHeart website, there's a thing called the Void, which is like their player testing area, or I forget what they're calling it. But there's actually some experimental. I lost my train of thought as I was doing that. Experimental classes that they are kind of like, feel free to try this and everything. It is the Warlock class and the Fighter class, which I'm like, I thought those were here. That kind of felt like that. They felt like they were here already, but there is a specific fighter class experts in unarmed combat. And they have two different subclasses, Juggernaut and Martial Artist. And then the
Oh,
Warlock, it's just it's exactly what it sounds like. It's the Warlock. The Pact of Endless and the Pact of Wrathful. And so if you want to take a look at those things, I mean, it ultimately looks
is it
about the
under
same.
the additional sheets?
So if you're at daggerheart.com and you're looking at the little bar across the top, like resources, news, community, the Void is where you'll want to go.
Oh, the
That has
void.
the two other
You
classes.
know, if I
And
just use my eyes.
at first, I was a little bit skeptical of the furbolts. I was like, oh, that's cool, but like owl people, I'm not really too sure about. But this warlock that I'm seeing here, I'm guessing that's a furbolt. Because I don't know what else to call it. That looks badass. Like maybe I'm wrong about the furbolt, or maybe I'm
What's a
wrong about even saying it.
herbal? Or
So
is that just anybody who is like a little
here,
animal like?
I'm trying to find where the heritages are here. And not to mention the heritage art in this, like the little like concept art kind of thing they have going on here is absolutely amazing. Okay, furbolgs. Furbolgs are bovine humanoids, typically recognized by their broad nose and long drooping ears. So it's
Oh, okay.
page 59. I'll show a little bit right here. Page 59. Sound like Pink Pony Club what I was saying. Page 59. Okay, Furbolg. So this is like the concept
I
art they
see.
had. Like it
Okay.
looks very kind of, like bovine, goat-ish. I don't know if goats can be. I don't actually know how inclusive the bovine word is. But some of this concept art in here looks pretty cool. I'd like to say broader nose, but that kind of looks like more like sheepish in the warlock. But I mean, I'm down with it either way. I'm down with it either way. But I don't remember where I was before. Look at the classes. Okay,
Well,
so we
you could
have.
be a phone girl. That's
Oh, the
interesting
fungals
looking.
were interesting. The one I was actually interested in like a lot was the fairies. Because they're like part bug, part the fairies were part bug, part human. And some like the displays of
Okay.
like just what they look like
Oh, yeah.
looked
That's
hella cool.
that feels right up your alley with the like. Look at that beetle.
I
That's like
know.
your
I was looking at video. I
tattoo.
was like, oh
Yeah.
man, that's so freaking cool. Um, but and also I don't know what came. I don't know what's come over me. But like Dungeons and Dragons, I'm usually like a no nonsense. Like I like realistic high fantasy and everything. Where
Sure.
like it's dirty, it's grungy, it's hyper realistic. This has me wanting to play so whimsical. It's got me feeling whimsical out the wazoo. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll play a fairy. Hell yeah, I'll play all this stuff that like I'll be a goofy little bard like the whole entire time. Do not care.
A goofy
Like I don't
little
know.
bird that's a clink.
Oh yeah. And so I have no clue what come over me, but like this just has me feeling like I want to be whimsical. But I mean, we got the regular stuff like the bard, and the druid, and the guardian, and of course the druid can wild shape within reason. It's and oddly enough, the druid wild shaping feels a little more. I don't know. I keep on saying the word inclusive, but like if you look at like the druid wild shaping book section, it literally is just like here. Beast forms. Tier 1. You can choose an agile scout, a nimble grazer, an aquatic scout, a stalking arachnid, pack predator, or household friend. And within those like themes, you can choose whatever you want as long as it is a household friend. Like for example, a cat, dog, rabbit, etc. And so like instead of like you can turn into a giant spider, a dire wolf, or a like whatever like Dungeons Dragons where like it spells it out like of these are the certain characters you can turn into. It's so much more up it to like kind of table I'm trying to think of the word here, but you can kind of it's more like a on the fly as long as everyone on the table feels good about it. You can turn into whatever household friend you want to become into, or whatever nimble grazer like a deer, gazelle, or goat you want it to. Like it's so less restrictive. I'm like these are the certain things you can turn into. It's just these now are the category of things you can turn into.
I
And
like that.
yeah, so druid, guardian. Feels like a tanky melee. Playing stalwart. I mean, I normally go for tanky defense classes. Stalwart's definitely in my alleyway. But Vengeance looks crazy. You can strike down enemies who harm your allies. Who like Rangers. I felt like Rangers were cool. Um, I mean, you either it's the classic. Are you Legolas or are you friend of the forest type thing? I feel like Ranger kind of always falls under the lines of like, are you really good with a bow or do you talk to a lot of animals?
Right. Yeah.
Rogue, Nightwalker, which you can like manipulate shadows to like teleport around. That's hella cool. And Syndicate, where like you're part of like a criminal organization. Very interesting twist on the Rogue. Like I mean not necessarily twist, but very interesting highlights of the Rogue. Um, but cool either way. The Seraph, where you're like a I feel like this is Paladin. This is definitely the Paladin class where you're like
Yeah.
angelic. Super cool. Sorcerers, I think frog people are really cool. And also like I have a hard
I
time
was
going
looking at
between
the
fairy people or frog people. Um I'm gonna have a hard time with that. And also I like the turtle people and the it
yeah.
feels so natural, so nature forward, so natural and whimsical. Ugh, it's got me wanting to gallivant in the meadows, honestly. I can't handle it. Um, war, and so that's why I'm saying, like, when I see on the Void, we're like, oh, we are now adding the fighter class. I'm like, you had the fighter. I thought you had the fighter class with warrior and guardian. I thought those were the fighter classes, but I guess this one's more supposed to be like. I feel like the fighter is supposed to be more monk, where you're
Okay.
it's supposed to be unarmed combat. So I guess if I'm trying to translate everything, but then warrior and then wizard. And you got like the classic, easy enough. So I mean, which one are you feeling? Which one are you feeling?
Oh goodness. Shoot.
Yeah, questions time.
I was okay with just. Okay. Let's see.
I mean,
I
that's,
see what
I
you were
mean, unless you
looking
just want to kind of go over the book, but I mean, if you want to make a character, we can make a character.
Let's see. Embody the natural element. I'm trying to think of like. Well, I look through. Nathan,
Mhm.
what would your character look like?
I'm looking through the same thing now too because I originally, when I first started looking at this, and I felt like I was still in my D&D brain, I was looking at the heritage, the Clanks, the robot people,
Mhm.
or like it's like robot stone. So they can be made out of metal, stone, or wood. It's just kind of like atomic, aut- autonomous, like kind of like creations. I originally was thinking about playing like a stone clank, a stone clank guardian, a stone clank guardian stalwart, and my whole thing was gonna be like, um, he was like a statue at a wishing fountain, and then like one day just like gained
Oh,
sentience and had like pretty much like just he, with like one command of like to protect someone, and he had no clue like why he needs to protect them, but like pretty much his whole thing is he has to like go like find out whoever like made the wish to make him alive. And so that was
that's
my original
cool.
idea. But as I started looking into like frog people and the the frog people and the mushroom people and the turtle people and the bug people, I was like, maybe I'm kind of feeling a little more whimsical now. So I feel like I might be going back to the drawing board with this one. Um, let's take a look. And it's just so strange how this game has me feeling this way because I'm normally like human all the way. Just play a human. I don't want to like even the giant class
Yeah.
looks cool. Especially because the giant class can have anywhere from 1 to 3 eyes. Hell yeah, do I want to play a giant with 3 eyes? He's fucking cool. Or even a giant with 1 eye. Anything but, God forbid, I have 2 eyes. Speaking of that, I went back to the eye doctor to get another prescription for glasses, and I'm actually going to use it
Yeah.
this time. And yeah, turns out I really need glasses.
Is it getting worse? Like the
I'd say so. And
clot
when
in your head?
Oh, it's not the clot that does it. But it's the 80s pupil. When I told the dude that I had 80s pupil, he was like, "Oh wow, you know, like you read about it in the textbooks, but like I've been doing this for 20 years, and you're probably the second case of 80s pupil I've ever seen." And I was like, "Hell yeah, call me unique, that's for sure." Um, but yeah, I mean, he says that it's not supposed to make my vision worse. I think it is making my. He once says that it was really weird, but I think it's getting a little worse, but I'm hoping with glasses it'll like slow it down a little bit. But um, neither here nor there. But I mean, this might be like one of the last streams I'm without glasses. I don't know if I'm gonna be turning into a
Really?
glasses wearer now. So
Like
we'll
all
see.
the time glasses wear, or
I
like
think
just on
that's my
computers?
goal. That's my goal is to be all. At least I
Oh,
have prescription sunglasses and I have regular glasses. So at least when I'm driving, which it'll be
yes.
nice because I'll finally be able to read street signs. Not to say I'm a bad driver. People are always like, "Oh, how are you driving with with?" I just see shapes. It doesn't matter what the shapes are. Is the shape getting closer? Does the shape have red lights on it and the lines go like? Then I just know that I gotta put on the brakes. If the shape gets closer, I can press the gas. The shape goes further away.
That's
No big
scary,
deal.
Nathan. Scary.
Hey, imagine how good a driver I'll be when I can actually see. But um, any sort of DMV who's listening to this stream, I didn't say any of that. I can drive perfectly. Was I
So
sweating when I had to redo my driver's license to Arizona and I thought they were going to make me do an eye test? A little bit. A little bit. That's why I was memorizing the sheets on the wall before I got to the desk. Okay, but I would probably play. Wow, I'm interested in. Is he? 'Cause I mean, I always go towards martial classes. I don't know. I just don't really know if I'm a spell type person, but at the same time, is this one I need to branch out? Especially since I'm not really like having spell slots. Spell slots kind of terrify me. But
that's what I'm like thinking, because I'm like, I naturally, well, I'm like, oh, a druid would be cool, or even the seraph could be cool, but it's like my first character was a paladin, and that's kind of the
same.
thing.
My very first like player character that like I did was a paladin because paladins are just so badass. And so I look at
Yes.
Seraph and I'm like, I probably would do paladin again. But I think I'm going to branch out and I might pick. Oh, so I might go sorcerer. Well, no, I might go wizard. I think I'm getting a little bit of an idea for wizard. I was thinking and I kind of feel like it's cheating a little bit because in the adventure guide, in my very first like one, it depicts a fairy that is part. Oh, am I doing spoilers again? Oh, I'm doing spoilers again. Sorry, were you saying something? I feel like I cut you off. You're kind of lagging out a little bit. You there? Am I lagging out a little bit?
Just a wee bit.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, and you
Okay.
look better now.
Oh, perfect, perfect. So I was the one waiting for you. Okay. So, I so spoiler alert a little bit. There is in the adventure campaign, a fairy that is part firebug, or part lightning bug. But I think it'd be cool if I was part lightning bug and a wizard that every time I got a good idea, my butt would light like a light bulb.
Oh, that's
But like,
cool.
but I don't know
Nathan, you were
if that's too on the nose because I just saw a fairy with the light. It's not my idea. I feel like it's too close.
I feel like you were made to be a player, because you have like so many great ideas.
It's because I see them from the DM. It's because I'm making NPCs in my brain. Like I'm making interesting enough NPCs that like people would want to interact with. So I just make NPCs in my brain. Um, I'm gonna go with that. I'm gonna go wizard. I'm gonna go wizard, fairy, lightning bug. 'Cause I was even thinking like my original thought when I saw the fairies was like a praying mantis type guy. Oh, praying. I don't know. Is that how many praying mantises are also monks? Or like kind of like monks in popular media, like in Kung Fu Panda. And I'd even
Yeah.
say Bug's Life. That dude, that freaking praying mantis on Bug's Life could whoop ass. I bet you anything he could. I don't care if his whole little mystical pacifist thing. I'm sure he got the hands on him. I'm gonna just be real. Um, but I was thinking both of those guys. But I freaking love bug. I actually, side note, this is such a casual stream. Um, dude, I was getting my glasses. I was talking to the salesman who was trying to like pitch me on glasses and everything. And he saw my tattoo. He saw my I got a
Yeah, yeah.
there's no way you're gonna see this. I'm trying to show people on
Well,
stream.
it was
My
better with the light on, I think.
yeah. I don't know
Oh,
if you oh
oh.
it's
And
adjusting.
now
My
it got
camera's
worse. Oh
adjusting.
wait, there it is.
There you go. Okay. The thing is, I can't see the stream, so I'm like, it looks blurry to me. Hopefully, it's clear for somebody. But he sees it. He
Really?
goes, "Oh, I like your tattoo," and I was like, "Yeah." He go, and I like it a lot. I like bugs. He goes, "Oh yeah," and I then find out that this dude collects bugs. He collects bugs and freezes them and pins them. He's like, yeah,
Oh.
like my buddy caught a female Sarah, like I'm trying to think, scarab, a female scarab at the Taco Bell up in Payson, and like I caught a male one. And he starts like showing me his specialization is wasps. This dude had, I'm trying to think of what, kind of, it was crazy Technicolor wasp. I'm trying to think of what the wasp was called, but it was like a pearlescent blue. And he was like, "Yeah, I
Oh.
collect wasps and everything, and I freeze them and pin them." And I'm like, "Dude, can we be friends, please? Like, can we be friends? I'm begging you." Like, oh my goodness. And he started talking to me about all the bugs that he was catching. I was like, I might get into bug freezing. I just got into bird watching. I might get into bug freezing. Who
I
knows?
I really like that you've gotten into bird watching. I don't know why, but
No,
well, I do know why, because I like birds. And like,
you
I know
have no
nothing.
clue how cool freaking birds are. And like, I'm starting to get to the point where I can recognize them like by their call now. And so I hate how nerdy I sound when I'm like walking around. I'm like, oh, there's a mockingbird around here. No, and I was like, stop it, stop it. But what's awesome is um, that Everest is getting crazy into it too, because
Really?
but like to the point where there's one specific bird, you'll hear a mouthful of it if you ever show up around here, because they're amongst so I have a big old bird feeder in the backyard, and these doves that show up, like the mourning doves and like the
Yeah,
white-winged
yeah.
doves, are just hang out there all day. But there's these bigger kind of black birds called greater-tailed grackles, and they're violent birds. They will kill
What?
like like they pretty much they're using my bird feeder as a stocking ground, and like they're killing the doves that are around.
Oh.
So I always try to scare away the grackles because I'm trying to make a hospitable environment for all sorts of types of birds
Yeah.
here. And those grackles went and got my quail. I watched it freaking get one of my quail that one day. And so now that I know what they are, I tell Everest to go scare away those grackles. So like, oh, go get them! Like, go chase after the grackles. And now she hates grackles with a burning passion, to the point where she will tell anybody. Even when we went to the Grand Canyon and we were on one of those free shuttles, she was telling the woman in front of us how much she did not like grackles and how she has to chase them away in her backyard. And whenever she hears a bird, she'll run over, Dad, 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 grackles outside.
Oh
We
my
need to go.
God.
I'm like, no, that's a different bird, but we can definitely check for grackles. And she's like grackle patrol to like as severe as anyone could be for as passionate as anyone could be for any sort of thing. She hates grackles to the point where she'll ask for my phone. She will ask for my phone so I can pull up the Merlin app and I can play noises of grackles for her so she can
She
like
would
study or
know.
something. She'll studying. What things? She's like, Dad, Dad, I
Oh
need your
my
phone. I need your phone. And I'll pull up the phone. And there's only one thing she wants on my phone. It's that bird app, because she'll scroll through and she'll find where the grackle is. She's learning how to manipulate a computer, like a phone, for the sole purpose of looking for grackles. And I'm like, I'm making a killer. I'm making a killer. This is not.
I love
I'm
that.
making a monster. But yeah, you'll hear all about grackles if you show up around here. Grackles are no good.
I think I see a photo of one. Um, but this one was in the Dominican Republic. Is it the
Um,
it's
they're
kind of looks it's evil looking with
they're
yellow
big black
eyes.
birds.
The greater Antillian grackle?
No, greater tailed.
Oh,
Greater
greater
tailed.
tailed. Greater tailed.
I mean, they still look evil. And apparently, they're one of the ones that can pass the crow test. Apparently, there's a crow test. I had no clue, but in an instance where there is food in a vessel of water that they cannot reach, These are one of the birds that are smart enough to drop items into the water to displace the water to bring the food up to them so they can eat it. So it's like they're
Oh.
kind of on the same level of like crows and ravens. Ravens are like the cool ones, or like the badass cool ones. Crows are like the wannabes, and these greater tailed grackles are like the kid who's like across like the street trying to like look to see what the cool kids are doing. I don't like them. Come on, greater tailed grackles, get out of here.
Well, one of the images that pops up when I search for great-tailed grackle is Public Enemy, great-tailed grackle, and it has like a red X.
I'm part of a Facebook group for Arizona bird observers, and there's this one person that posted a driveway camera, and they were like, I don't know why these, no, I don't know why people hate greater-tailed grackles so much. Look at this sweet mother who's carrying around it was a deceased child, like it was like they're like a baby greater-tailed grackle that it was like carrying around, but the baby was obviously like passed away and everything, and like they're like, look at it carrying it around because it cares about it so much, and everyone's like, no, they throw their kids on the pavement because they don't want to feed them. Like they this isn't like a sweet thing. Like you just watched it murder its child. Like, and everyone's like, no, 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 get those grackles out of here. We don't want grackles around. They're too violent. Like, yeah, so we don't like grackles around here. And I'm gonna be raising 2 children who will do anything in their power to scare away every single grackle. So I'm gonna look at the sorcerer class here. Sorcerer. And so those sorcerers, if I'm taking a look at the character sheets, they have specific character sheets for each individual class, which kind of just outlines some of like the character traits that come with a sorcerer. Like for example, with the, I'm gonna pull it over here so we can take a look. With the, no, I wasn't doing sorcerer, I was doing wizard. I don't know why I was thinking about that. Where's the wizard? Wizard, I got Prestidigitation. I can perform harmless, subtle magic effects at will, which feels like just for flavor. And then Strange Patterns. Choose a number between 1 and 12. When you roll that number on a duality die, gain a hope or clear a stress. I can just pick, whoa. I can just pick a number between 1 and 12, and if I ever roll it, I can gain a hope.
That's
And I
cool.
can change the number whenever I want during a long rest. Well, whenever I take a long rest. Also, the long rest and short rest are really cool because there's things that you can do now for a long and short rest. Like I felt like with long and short rest with Dungeons and Dragons, you just clear a hit dice or you can attune to an item. That's like really the most like cool thing you can do with it. Let me see if I can pull up as if I'm not flipping through the pages of the physical book. Where is the short rest and long rest? One second. Downtime. Here we go. 105. Okay, so during a short rest, you can tend to wounds, clear stress, repair armor, or prepare. So, tend to wounds, which I think is also cool. Describe how you can hastily patch yourself up, then clear a number of hit points equal to 1d4 plus your tier, which we'll get into in a second. But you can also do it to an ally instead. So you can tend to someone else's wounds, and
cool.
heal them as well. So you can choose one of these. You choose one or two.
It looks like long rest could do 2.
Maybe that's what I'm thinking of saying.
And then, oh, but short rest, I'm thinking it can do 2 as well.
I think either one you can do 2. Them also being the same ones. But long rest has so like short rest you can clear some HP, stress, and armor. Long rest you will clear all HP, stress, and armor. Or you can work on a project. Establish or continue work on a project. See the working on a project is downtime. If a PC wants to pursue a project that they would take them a substantial amount of time, but they can work on during a long rest, they should first discuss it with GM. This could involve deciphering an ancient text, crafting a new weapon, or something similar. Projects usually involve a progress countdown. Each time a PC takes the work on a project downtime, move from one another. It's so freaking cool. So freaking cool. Okay, but we are wizards, so my domains are Codex and Splendor, which means that I can choose spell or domain cards, which are just spell cards and ability cards, out of the Codex and Splendor. Have you chosen what your class is going to be? I've been talking a
I
lot at you
think
and giving you plenty of time to think.
you have been. I think I'm going to do, because I have something against rogues, so I think I'm going to try to be a rogue.
Oh,
Um,
emergent. What is it? Emergent therapy or?
yeah, yeah. And I
Okay.
know that's probably a very unpopular opinion, and I might get crucified, but I just, I don't know. I never was able to get into rogues. I think because I felt all high and mighty, and I was like, oh, you're just a lowly rogue willing to steal, but that's a
Says
whole
the
other
paladin
thing.
player. That makes sense. That makes complete
Yes.
sense. A
And
paladin through
then
and through.
Astarion came along, and then I was like, I don't see the appeal of you, Astarion. I mean,
Yeah.
kind of rude,
Have you
and
seen?
it didn't help.
Have you seen? I saw something kind of surface on my various social medias, like the notes for Neil. I don't think of his last name, but the voice actor for Astarion. Some like the notes are like slightly horny. They say slightly horny, only slightly. I'm like, damn.
That's a
Oh,
good
that's
one.
funny. Okay, but okay. So you're gonna go rogue. Interesting. You're gonna go rogue.
Yeah.
I am interested to see how it's gonna go. So, before here, what's the correct order of things? 'Cause I know there's a little. Let's see. So after we select, so in that case, then rogue, you got subclasses here: Nightwalker or Syndicate.
hmm
Do you know which one you're going to
I'm
be
gonna
doing?
play the Nightwalker.
Nightwalker. What? So you got Midnight and Grace as your domain cards, as your domains. Now I hate. I don't know if I can. I don't know why I can't. The character sheets that you can download aren't editable, and so I'm like, I don't know why I'm gonna have to like write things down like physically. I should have just printed off. I wonder if I can still print it off. Let's see. Can I print off? My printer's right here.
Oh
Not
yeah,
in the other
then
room.
print that bad boy off.
That's pages 20 through 20 to 21. Let's see. But my printer also is relatively stupid, so we're gonna see. Don't get me started on. Oh, not 20 copies. Not 20 copies. I want page 20. 20, 30, 21. That would have been very bad. Actually, no. Did I recognize that printer? Okay, I did. Now we're going to have here really loud printer noise in just a second. But what is going to be your heritage?
And this is where I have to go down. Okay, let's see.
We got things like Plank, Verbal, Human, Dracona.
No, I had an idea.
Yeah.
Um, let's see.
I wonder
There's
how
no
much ink I'm using here. Dang.
there's no rhyme or reason for this. I feel like it would just kind of be funny. Um,
The best kind.
but I was thinking of doing a fungrel.
Fungrel Road. I dig it.
Because, like, you're not expecting a mushroom to be sneaking around.
I love it. Oh, I love it. Let's see. I'm playing. Okay. No, I like it. So it's a Night Walker. I think that'd be kind of cool though, especially because like what I'm trying to think of. Let's see. Let's take a look at the.
Yeah. There's a death connection with fungrel. So while touching a corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one memory from the corpse related to a specific emotion or sensation of your choice.
No way. Sounds awesome. Oh, here, Rogue Nightwalker. Because I was thinking Shadow Stepper. You can move from shadow to shadow. You can enter area darkness or shadow cast by another creature. You can into a shadow cast by another creature. Which, well, nonetheless, you can disappear and reappear. That'd be kind of cool if you like puffed into a cloud of spore and like
Oh,
transferred
that would be
around
cool. Yeah.
into just freaking shadows. Or could you like grow on the like you like grow on the wall like a whole bunch of like mushrooms start like growing in like an area and then they kind of just form into like a creature. That'd be so freaking cool. Okay, all right. So I dig it. I dig it. Okay, I'm gonna start writing down some of my stuff here. I think the subclass that I'm gonna go with for the hell of it is gonna be the School of Knowledge. I don't feel like lightning bugs are good in a war.
Have you not seen? Oh, what's that? Um,
Spell fairy. I know they do it all crazy. Faeri. Theory. My pronouns will be he, him. I don't know the name. I don't know the name yet. I'm trying to look up whatever this this war firebug is.
yeah, I was thinking of I think it's called Grave of the Lightning Bugs. Or sorry, Grave of the Firefly.
Grave of the firebug. That sounds bad.
It's rather sad.
Oh.
It's a sad movie.
Oh wait, hold on. Is this the? I'm looking it up right now. No, this isn't the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of this other. Oh, it could be. I remember it was based on a true story of like that where it was like a whole bunch of like children who like went out to like be like medics and turns out they were on like the front lines in Japan. And it's like a whole like story about them like I'm trying to think of what one that one is.
Oh, it could be sadder.
I'm not trying to. This isn't a competition. I'm not trying to find the saddest children in World War II. Yeah, but mine's definitely sadder. Let's be real. Okay. All right. So after we pick our heritage, we can choose our community, and now we can go into also the community. The concept art for the community was cool as well. I'm trying to find where the community starts. So we have a couple of different options when it comes to. Oh, this is the heritage. Here's the community. Okay, so community. Just pretty much where we're from. Highborn. Were you rich? Being part of a highborn community means that you're accustomed to the life of elegance, opulence, and prestige. You're privileged. You have an advantage on rolls to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation.
Okay.
Lowerborn. Being part of lowerborn communities means that you're a society that favors strong academic or political prowess. I am kind of leaning towards history, culture, or politics. Would that be good for my lightning bug wizards? Let's go on looking. Orderborn. Focus on a discipline or faith. You have to set up a principle of uphold a set of principles that reflect your experience here. So the land of the paladins. Interesting.
That's what I was thinking.
Ridgeborn, can you climb rocks? Seaborn, can you pilot a boat? You sail a boat. The Slyborn. Oh, I bet you anything you're from the Slyborn, aren't you? You sound like a Slyborn type of fungrel. Being part of Slyborn community means that you come from a group that operates outside the law, including all manner of criminals. What I find interesting though is that like I don't remember where they do it exactly, but they mentioned that like these like Slyborn or Highborn or Orderborn like aren't necessarily like their own cities. Like they like multiple of these communities can be within the same city. So like the Slyborn, like you like two characters can be from the same area, the same city, but one could be born in the Highborn and one could be in the Slyborn, depending on like where in the city they are from, which I think is like another just like aspect of vagueness where like it really can just be whatever you want. You want a whole city of black markets, or do you want one place to kind of be the entire thing? The Underborn, were you born underground? The Wanderborn, do you have a hot air balloon? Being part of the Wanderborn means that you live nomad, foregoing a permanent home, experiencing a wide variety of cultures. I like how the nomadic pack is once per session you can spend a hope to reach into this pack and pull out a mundane item that is useful to your situation.
It's like the Mickey Mouse Clubhouse.
The mouse could tool it up.
Yeah.
Okay. Out of all of the community features, I do think that Loreborn will be the most aligned with my wizard. And my guess is that Loreborn and wizard are going to go hand in hand throughout the majority of anyone playing DaggerHeart. So, yes, very Loreborn. One of these days, I want to go through and like fix my handwriting. I want to get like a handwriting book, like we had in like elementary school, and just go through it again. My handwriting is atrocious, and I don't even have a doctorate to like back it up. Strange patterns. I'm gonna say, where's a D12? I'm just gonna roll a D12, and that number will be the number that will be my strange patterns. Let's see. My little box of dice here. That is a 7. Hey, that seems kind of regular run of the mill. Alright. 7. Okay. Are you what community are you thinking of?
Maybe a highborn.
A highborn. Ooh.
Yeah. Reasoning is because I was a mushroom that lived in the gardens and then just became sentient.
Interesting. You're like pickpocketing the nobles that were like sitting in their pompous tea parties in the garden. Hell
Yeah, and like I heard, like, when you think of highborns, people usually think like, oh, but they're like, they're better than us. And in reality, they're just as snobby and vengeful as any other person. They just have the money to back it.
Politics are the politicians are the real criminals.
Yes.
I dig it. I love it. So you are playing a Night Walker fungal rogue who is highborn. I love it. Okay, so now that we've chosen our class, our community, and our heritage, we can assign character traits. So, it doesn't say it here, I don't think, but we can distribute the following modifiers across our character. I'm trying to think of where. And if you're looking at the actual character guide, if you went to DaggerHeart and you're looking at like their sheets in the character guide, it'll show you where the suggested traits should be. So like if you want to play like a just for a regular run-of-the-mill like wizard, for example. I'm getting ahead of myself. We have to distribute the following trait modifiers across our 6 different skills, if you will. A +2, a +1, another +1, a 0, a 0, and a -1. Does that make sense? So +2,
yeah.
2 +1s, 2 zeros, and a -1. We can choose whatever of these, put them wherever we want. The Wizard Character Guide says that my suggested trait should be a -1 to Agility, a 0 to Strength, a 0 to Finesse, which I already don't like where this is going because I normally play martial classes, a +1 to Instinct, +1 to Presence, and a +2 to Knowledge. And since I don't know any better, that's what I'm going to do. So +2.
I'm going to follow my character's guide as well.
Yeah, what does yours say?
It says a +1 to Agility,
Oh yeah.
a -1 to Strength, a +2 to Finesse, a 0 to Instinct, +1 for Presence, and a 0 for Knowledge. Which I'm surprised with the 0 to Instinct. But
Yeah.
maybe it doesn't mean what I think it means.
My suggested primary weapon is a grand staff.
I love it.
So cool. And its aspect is powerful. On a successful attack, roll an additional damage die and discard the lowest result. Badass.
Oh, that's cool.
Oh, wait, character description. Choose one or more of each line. Clothes that are beautiful, clean, common, flowing, layered, patchwork, or tight. Eyes like carnations, earth, endless ocean, fire, ivy, lilacs, night, sea foam, or winter. Body that's broad, carved, curvy, lanky, rotund, short. Where's don't quit? I have a body that doesn't quit.
A body that doesn't quit.
The skin color of ashes, clover, falling snow. Let's cut off here. Fine sand, obsidian, rose, sapphire. Wisteria. What's wisteria?
Oh, I found the doesn't quit. It's on the rogue. The rogue
What?
character guy.
I can't believe this. I'm changing classes. Attitude. Like an eccentric, a librarian, a lit fuse, a philosopher, or a professor. Interesting. Okay. I'm getting ahead of myself.
Mine says attitude like a mob boss. Always wanted to be one. A pirate, a bandit, a con artist, and a gambler.
Just be Al Capone in mushroom form.
Oh, that'd be cool.
You got like a mushroom like 3-piece suit on, like a mushroom tuxedo.
Or you know that mob boss in Zootopia?
Oh yeah,
He's like a little gerbil or something.
like one tiny mushroom. Okay. Distribute trait modifiers. So we've done that. What's the next step? Step 4. Record additional character information. So I'm gonna take a quick break from your character. Okay, so this is gonna be other things that are on the character sheet. I don't know if you're still looking at the character sheet. But evasion. Your character's evasion reflects how hard it is for adversaries to hit them. Your class starting evasion appears right beneath the evasion field. So my evasion starts at 11 because that's underneath my character sheet. So
Oh, I see. Okay.
Start at
My evasion
11.
starts at 12.
What?
Yeah. Or
What
what?
is number of the evasion field? When an adversary makes an attack against your character, the GM rolls against their evasion to see if the adversary succeeds. You can choose how your character's evasion manifests within the narrative. A wizard might avoid blows with shimmering arcane shields or bat away an adversary spell, while a ranger nimbly dodges out of the way. And so, like, vague enough for, like, evasion is 11, and you can kind of just decide how that looks. And, like, your armor class. And, like, I was even thinking, like, armor doesn't necessarily have to be, like, if I'm wearing leather armor, I don't have to describe my character as wearing leather armor. I just have the stats of leather armor, and I can describe what it looks like if I'm using my magic to, like, use an armor slot kind of type thing. And this is all things that I'm sure you could do in Dungeons and Dragons. It just takes that extra little bit of like adding purposeful flavor to it. But this game just kind of like DaggerHeart just kind of comes built in with that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
Oh yeah, I like that.
Hit points and stress. Your character's health and well-being are represented in hit points. Hit points and stress. Stress reflects the ability to withstand the pressures of dangerous situations. I'm pretty sure. I'm trying to just do a quick read, but like if you fail a check with fear, usually that comes with adding a stress, and so
Yeah.
and when you fill up with stress, and you can't take any more stresses, if you take another stress past your kind of allotted capability, you mark an HP instead of a stress, and so it'll actually start doing damage to your character if you have too much stress. Hope and fear. Hope and fear are currencies. You start with 2 hope. We can mark 2 hope on our thing. One thing I thought was cool with hope, you can spend 3 hope once per session to do a tag team roll. Where if I spend 3 hope, you and I can roll our dice for the same thing, and if we succeed, we add like both of our scores together, and then like we succeed, we have to describe how like we both use our like various skill sets to like accomplish a certain goal, which I think is really cool. Level 1 thing. I'm feeling 2 hope. And I have my hope ability is not this time. Spend 3 hope to force an adversary within far range to re-roll an attack or damage roll. Talk about being a backline supporter. I gotta be in far range of everything. Okay, choose your starting equipment. So you can use physical weapons or to attack foes. You can also wield magic weapons. What am I supposed to? When? Oh, I choose my domain cards in step 8. Okay. I honestly am gonna go with the suggested primary weapon and suggested armor, but that doesn't stop me from actually looking at the weapons. And I want to see what these weapons are. Give me another game. Here we go. Equipment. That is page. So primary weapon table. That's page 115. 115. This one. Okay. So we have things to choose from in the tier 1. So, okay. I also kind of skipped over this. So there are 4 total tiers when it comes to leveling up. You can go up, the max level is level 10. Tier 1 consists of level 1. Tier 2 consists of levels 2 through 5. Tier 3 is 6 through... I feel like I've already watched this. Hold on, 1 second. I feel like I've already watched this. I'm trying to think of what that is. Oh, there's a whole section of leveling up. Where is it? Leveling up 109. Due to me practicing going through this book. Leveling up. Okay, so tier 1 encompasses level 1 only. Tier 2 encompasses levels 2 through 4. Tier 3 encompasses levels 5 through 7. Tier 4 encompasses levels 8 through 10. And so whenever you're going through the tiers, my guess is that when we're looking at tier 1 primary weapons, since we're level 1, we can only choose these weapons. But when we get to level 2 and we're now in tier 2, you can choose either tier 1 weapons or tier 2 weapons. That's how I'm interpreting that. Oh dang, magical weapons, tier 1, I can pick arcane gauntlets. Should I just be a wizard that just throws hands? Every single time.
That'd be cool.
A return blade.
You're just being what you'd usually be.
You're right. I'm bleeding into old habits. I need to pick a... What is it? A great
Your
staff.
firebug.
My great staff.
Is the great staff bigger than your body? Like,
it has to be. I have to have a great sword. I have to have a great it could be like a little twig. I have a little twig. So if you look at the... I'm bouncing all around here. What page is the fairy? Because the fairies are... Where am I going? I need dwarf fairy. If you look at the image of a fairy on page 57. I lied, it was page. For some reason, the book and the PDF file have like opposite pages. Or at least the PDF file isn't bringing me... No, just the PDF file isn't bringing me to the right. There must be an extra page in here that isn't being counted on the page counters. If you look at the fairies, you can see a human and fairy for scale. A fairy is about half the size of a human. So I'm not like bug size.
Oh, okay.
I am still a decently sized fairy. Like I'm still half the size. And so maybe it wouldn't be a twig, but I'd have like a stick, like a decent branch for like my wizard staff.
As fairy appearances range from insect-like to humanoid, with a wide variety in between different families.
Oh yeah. And really, and like stuff like, and even stuff like this fairy, where like if you're looking at the fairy appearance range, and like one looks like a beetle, one looks like a human with just bug wings. If you also look at like the furball, the Tari. It's like you can either look like a cat or you can be a human with cat ears. Like the range is like so grand from either. Like you really could just play whatever you want, or even like the fungrel. You can look like a person that's wearing a mushroom hat, or you can look like this dude right here, and he's just a behemoth of mushrooms.
the big one. He kind of reminds me of that one fungus in
Baldur's Gate 3.
the Underdark. Yeah.
Who talks all that smack and then gets freaking. I don't know. I had a very easy time fighting that dude once he turned.
Oh yeah.
I would.
Well,
Once he turned, my guys were like pinning him. Like we were like all like in the same group, and he's like, "I'm evil now." I was like, "Okay, cool." And we just like took turns just curb stomping him until he was gone.
well, it took me until my third playthrough to actually have him turn on us because he always died before like we were able to like complete his
Even better.
mission. But,
That's hilarious.
oh, I decided I'm gonna be a morale mushroom.
Oh.
Because you know they're usually super expensive, and it's always a thrill to go morale mushroom hunting.
Oh, that is
So why wouldn't highborns have morale mushrooms scattered about their garden?
That's really cool. I like that a lot. I need to remind myself what a lightning bug looks like. Yeah, I like that dude. This dude looks cool. Yeah, I
I
like
wonder
being
if
lightning.
there are in Arizona. Too hot, maybe. Unless there are. Have you seen a
No, I
lightning bug?
haven't seen it. I've actually never seen a lightning bug. And Abigail always makes fun of me because
Oh.
apparently in Michigan they were all over the place. And I'm like, stop it, okay? Don't make me feel bad. So glad that
You're right. There aren't really any here in Utah, are there?
maybe found in
That's what I
Arizona.
wonder.
While they're not as common, there are a few species, including a flashing species. I call Arizona. Let me guess, they're up north. They're up north.
Yeah, I would think like Flagstaff area.
Yeah. No, definitely the cooler bits. Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. Okay, so primary weapon. The suggested weapon here is a great staff. That is a magical tier 1 weapon. No, that was a grand staff. Where's the great staff? Where is the great staff? Oh no, I don't know why I just had a moment of not being able to see. Well, actually, I know why. The great staff does exist. The great staff is a trait for knowledge. The range is very far. Oh, so shoot. Oh yeah, I'm shooting things out of my great staff. Yeah, I'll pick the great staff.
Oh, that's cool.
I thought this was like kind of like this is a kind of a melee weapon just to hold me off while I'm doing spells. Pretty sure I'm shooting things out of.
Like yeah.
It's great in range. This is knowledge. Knowledge. It's been a while since I've seen that. Knowledge. R range. Damage dice is a D6. What does mag mean? Did I miss somewhere where mag was explained? Let's see.
I don't have mag on mine. Oh, maybe it's magic.
It's magic. You're right. You're right.
magic
D6 magic.
Yeah.
D6 magic. Yeah, because the other ones are 5 physical.
Yeah.
D6 magic. And it's two-handed.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna have two
Because
weapons.
it takes up like my whole body. You're gonna have two
Yeah,
weapons?
no.
What?
I think so. It's a primary weapon and a secondary weapon, and they're both
Well,
one-handed. I'm gonna have. Get this.
I
The
like
first one's a dagger. What do you think the second one is?
A second dagger.
It's a small dagger.
Oh, a smaller one. Perfect. Excellent. I like it. I like it. Let's see. The suggested armor that I have here. It says that leather armor is my suggested armor. So, we are going to do that because I don't have any other. Let's see. Let's find where the armor is. Let's at least look at what the other armor looks like. Actually, I'm going to look at tier 4 magic weapons just to see. Just because I'm curious.
Jeez.
Just because I want to know what they look like.
I'm gonna look at tier 10. Let's see.
Wand of Sick. Time bending. You can choose a target of your attack after making your attack roll. What?
That's cool.
A mage's revolver. If you make an attack roll a d6 on a result of a 1, you must mark a stress to reload this weapon before you can fire it again. Fusion
Legit
gloves.
revolver.
It's a, yeah, and there's even a photo of it lower. It's just a magic revolver. Floating blade shards. Where's that? On a successful attack, roll an additional damage die. Oh, it has that powerful one.
Oh, I see.
Thistle blow is reliable. You can add a 1 to attack roll.
That Magus revolver looks pretty cool.
It looks really cool. Oh, that looks awesome. Blood staff, painful. Each time you make a successful attack, you must mark a stress. What? What? It does damage to. Oh, but it's like a little like thorny.
Oh
staff.
yeah.
That
Probably
looks cool.
because it needs to like
Leech
use
on
your
you or something.
blood. Yeah.
Something
work.
gross like that. Fusion gloves has a distance of has a range of very far, which I find interesting. What I like? Huh. Interesting. Okay, and then the combat wheelchair. Combat wheelchair.
Sure.
Armor table. All right. Let's see. Leather armor. What's Gambison armor? Flexible +1 to evasion. I bet you anything. It wants you to wear Gambison armor, doesn't it?
It does.
You
Yes,
Gambison
indeed.
armor. Let's see. Active armor is going to be leather armor. Has a base threshold of 6 and 13, and a base score of 3. So so after adding my armor, the base score I can add into my armor section, meaning that I can mark 3 armor before my armor is unable to be used anymore. And then my threshold, go from minor to major damage is 6. Oh, plus my level. So it's the threshold, the base threshold plus my level makes it so my minor damage to major damage threshold is a 7. And then the major damage to severe damage is a 13 plus 1, which is 14. Perfect. Are you caught up with your Gambison armor?
I think so. So Gambison armor, and it says here thresholds are 5 and then 11.
Yes, so that is your base
Okay.
threshold. But you will always add your level to those base thresholds. So for your 5 to
So-
11, plus a 1 will make it 6 to 12.
Okay.
And when you get to level 2, then your threshold will go up. And so like theoretically, like you would stay in this Gambison armor forever if you're okay with it, like leveling up like that. Or you can get improved Gambison armor. Interesting.
6.
Oh, I'm looking at the Gambison armor. That looks interesting. It's like pleated almost. Huh. Interesting. Okay. Back to. We've done step 4. We've done step 5.
Okay, and then the score. Okay, I see. Score of 3 for armor. What's your armor?
3. I get my 3.
Okay, mine is 3 as well.
Okay. So. Inventory. If I'm looking at the character guide, it does tell me what my inventory is. I have to choose. I have choices to make. Oh, hold on. So, in my inventory, I started moving things around. I have a torch, 50 feet of rope, not
I have
silk
that
rope
too.
though.
Oh, goodness. We can make it silk rope.
You
if we
make it
want.
in silk rope. Basic supplies and a handful of gold. Do I have? Oh, I do have. There's a section to mark a handful of gold. Handful of gold. And then I can choose between a minor health potion or a minor stamina potion. Oh, what? And either a book you're trying to translate or a tiny, harmless elemental pet. I can have I can have a
that's
familiar.
cool. That's really cool.
Can I make it an aphid like they do in Bug's Life? Can I have a little aphid? Oh, I'm so having a little aphid as my buddy. Okay, so yes. And then decide what you carry your spells in. Oh, what? So it says either large, so it's giving me examples, large tomes, tarot cards. How badass would that be if my things were in tarot cards? What's something bug related? What can I do that's bug related that I'm holding spells in? What are your inventory options?
Mine are the same. Um, like, with the torch, the rope,
Yeah.
supplies, and the health potion or the stamina potion. But then I can either choose a set of forgery tools or a grappling hook.
What?
And I feel like I gotta go grappling. I mean,
I
how
feel
do you
like,
not?
I mean, why forge things when you can just get into places?
Yeah. And then, I have that 50 feet of rope. I just put that grappling hook on the rope.
Hell yeah. Like you can't spawn into people's shadows.
Yeah, that's true.
like you need a grappling hook when you can't just wait for it to be nighttime. And you're just in the sun, in the earth's shadow.
You're right.
And then what's your then decide? Oh, do you have anything that like underneath the and either?
That was the and either.
Oh, I
The
see.
forger tools or a grappling hook. Not as cool as a pet, but
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah, but we all can't be wizards. We can't be firebug wizards.
they had to give you that to make people want to be a wizard.
Hey, okay, wizards are cool.
As the
Being
one who's
smart.
trying to make theirs into a martial artist.
I forgot, okay? I forgot that's what I was doing. It was a momentary relapse of
Of judgment.
judgment. Yeah, okay. Yeah. And then character description. Let's go back to the character description. I have clothes that are I don't know. Am I like a grungy? Kind of like a am I like a forest wizard that like no, but I was in a lore-born community. So I am part of a studious community. I will be clean. I choose to be clean.
Nice.
My eyes will be like, oh, is it too on the nose to say fire? Because I mean, like I'm a firebug, I'm a lightning bug.
People would be wondering if they're looking at your butt or your face.
You're right. I can't get people confused. It's for my worm folk. Body that.
I'm going with body that's tight.
That's what? Oh, okay. I'm gonna go with a body that's lengthy. Lengthy. A body that's uh honed. I should be just a ripped lightning bug. No, I'm gonna go. I'm lanky. I feel like I was taking a look at pictures of a lightning bug. I got a lightning bug. They're kind of lanky. Oh, they're long. I have a body that's long and thick.
Long and thick. I don't think I've seen a body that's long and thick.
Yeah. And then skin color of obsidian. I feel like I guess I don't have to choose one of these options. I just look like a lightning bug with a little red head. I got wings, and I have an attitude of that of a philosopher because my whole thing is that my butt glows when I have a good idea. Now, are those good ideas like philosophical good ideas, or are they actually, I don't want to say practical ideas because it makes it sound like philosophers are not practical. But I mean, I like professor. I have an attitude like a professor. Here, I'll be like a little teacher. Okay.
Nice.
We chose our armor. We chose our weapons. We chose our starting items. We chose. Let's see, actually. Oh, so now we have to look at the background questions. We have to look at the background questions. To
Okay.
answer the following background questions, you can also create your own question. What responsibilities did your community once count on you for? How did you let them down? How did I let them down? What are you talking about?
Guess you got exiled.
You spent your life searching for a book or object of great significance. What is it, and why is it so important to you? And you have a powerful rival. Who are they, and why are you so determined to defeat them?
Oh, those are different questions. Mine says, what did you get caught doing that got you exiled from your home community?
What?
And then you used to have a different life, but you've tried to leave it behind. Who from your past is still chasing you?
Oh man.
And who from your past were you most sad to say goodbye to?
Oh, dang. Huh. What responsibility did your community once count on you for? I'm trying so hard not to make this Bug's life, now that I'm a bug. I'm like, grasshoppers were showing up and they're gonna eat our food. And I was supposed to fight them off. I pressed a digitation to giant bird out of leaves. You spent your life searching for a book or object of great significance.
Is it the book you currently have? Oh no, because you chose to have your little pet.
I did choose my pet. Oh yeah, you're right. A book you're trying to translate. Interesting. I did choose a pet though. I mean, a tiny harmless elemental pet. Strictly for, I mean, like the book I was trying to translate could have been like something for lore, something that could have been useful. But I instead chose a tiny harmless elemental pet. And you know what? At this point, I don't regret it. I do not regret it at all. But also, if you look a little bit at the background and questions, you can see the how it tells you to work with the GM to generate 2 starting experiences for your character. This is where it kind of gets interesting. You can create your own experiences within reason, and so pretty much like, for example, I'm trying to think of a good example now. But you can like create like your own like little like quips or like something that like might apply to you. Huh?
Like catchphrases, right? Like the one that they did was like, you know who my dad is.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you can use that as a +2 modifier to certain roles, as long as like your GM is okay with it. What I think is a kind of really cool to make like a more like personalized character.
Oh, I like that.
And so I'm trying to think of what my experience would be as my Firebug wizard. Maybe that will help me figure out what my background question answers are.
Could one of my experiences be like, is that mushroom poisonous? And like if, and then maybe it could do with prevent people from like, or like help prevent them from attacking me or something.
Interesting. So like, so I like where this is going. I'm trying to think of how we can flesh it out. So something along the lines of, there's an element of danger around the type of mushroom that you are. Like there are people are curious on whether or not that's a. I'm trying to think how we can make this work in your favor.
I could like evade. Like.
Oh yeah.
Like better evasion. Like if they go to attack, I could be like, "Is that mushroom poisonous?" and gives me a better chance of dodging it or something.
I don't know if we're gonna be able to add like a modifier to your evasion, but I'm trying to think of what the agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, charm, recall. I almost feel like it has to do something with like the presence of like your ability to. So you're trying to make this work for like a getting away type thing. I like the idea. I'm trying to think of how it's gonna work. Now I have to keep thinking about it. But Is that mushroom poisonous?
Is there a section that talks about the
Experiences?
experiences in the book?
Let's see. Sure there is. Let's take a look. Experiences. Character. Here. Oh, it was the next page. It was the next page. Page 20. 20 says,
Oh,
create your experiences. In DaggerHeart, your character's experiences are one of the core ways you express your backstory and expertise. An experience is a word or phrase used to encapsulate a specific set of skills your character has or acquiring over the course of their exciting life. Not exiting life. Not exit our life. Your character starts with 2 experiences, and
each with a +2 modifier.
there's no set list of experiences to choose from. Instead, find a word or phrase that embodies something distinct about your character. Each experience should be specific. For example, talented or focused are too broad.
It's a +2 modifier, but to what?
To the agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, or knowledge rule. It does say here that additionally, your character's experience can't give them spells or specific game abilities. For example, take flight or one-hit kill are too mechanically oriented. Oh. I choose take flight, and I fly away.
I choose TPK.
I choose decompose. They are now
gross.
decomposing.
Ew.
Could it be? Like I'm almost thinking like, is this mushroom poisonous work for like an intimidation type role? Like if you're like trying to get in someone's face and they're like, oh, it's mushroom poisonous. But then I don't want it to be like a gross factor. Like I want like your experience to be people are grossed out at you. I want it to be more interesting.
Where do you see the oh, I'm trying to look for the difference. Oh wait, agility, is it okay? So it's the agility, strength, finesse, instinct, presence, and knowledge.
Correct.
Okay. Could it be a +2 to presence? Like
I was thinking like it would be be a +2 to presence.
And...
But I want it to be cooler than being grossed out, or like
I could be like, like charming or performing kind of. It's like, oh, you don't want to mess with me, I could be poisonous or something
like that, or like, yeah, I think I'm like kind of like could people be more enthralled with you, like oh, is that mushroom poisonous, or like what type of mushroom is that, kind of like people are trying to identify you. I mean, I'm down for it being a +2 presence. I'm so down. Or I guess, I technically it wouldn't be just we wouldn't assign it to any one of these. It'd be a +2 to your action roll, and so it could technically apply to any of these. It just needs to be specific enough where like you could apply it to a situation, if that makes sense. And so in fact, I do think that like that the added vagueness of it could be useful if we're like doing like a strength check of like somebody's trying to like grapple you, and you could be like, I'm gonna do a strength check to get out of the grapple plus my is this mushroom poisonous, because this dude doesn't want to like try to grapple me because he might think I'm poisonous.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that works out. I like that. And as long as you're okay with it, I'm okay with it.
So that's fun.
Or like with like the hide, if you're trying to do like a +2 to your finesse to hide, you could be like they kind of start to see, but then they're like, oh, that might be a poisonous mushroom. I gotta like, and they like kind of
That's
turn
true.
away.
Yeah, yeah.
I like that. Okay, and then one of my experiences is gonna be something that has to do with ideas. I'm trying to think of. I think I want my experience to be something along the lines of, in quotation marks, I have an idea. And it was just going to be, I can use that as my experience for any time that I have a strange way of doing something. And it
Yeah.
just increases the ability that my strange idea might pull off and it might succeed in the end. And so I'm going to do, I have an idea. Boom. Okay, there's one of my experiences. And whenever I use it, that's when my butt goes off. That's when I light up.
I like it. I like it. Let's see. I'm trying to think like one that like I was in the garden and
Oh
like
yeah.
I don't know, like cause like garden of like, you know, I was in the like a palace or something, and so like I'm thinking of I heard a lot of things. Like I was eavesdropping a lot, or I got a lot of like knowledge maybe from like different experiences people have had.
It
And
almost be
like
like something like network of roots, where like you can almost like eavesdrop through plants around you.
yeah.
Or I'm trying to think of what. I'm trying to think of like how that could be.
Like if I could like recall things, like if I needed to recall like, oh well, I was in the garden
Yeah,
and they were
I like
saying
that.
this. Like
I like that. Kind of like an intimate knowledge of politicians and the 1%.
yeah.
I like that. No, I'm down with that. Um, hmm. I think it was like an experience for me. Not necessarily idea based. I mean, I have my idea. I'm trying to think of another one that might be interesting. While I'm thinking of that one, this is the step I've been trying to get to this whole time, and so I'm excited for it. This is I'm gonna think of my second experience, and if you're still thinking about your second experience, but this is step 8. Choose your domain cards. So we get to choose our first abilities and potentially spells of our characters here.
Oh.
So
Go
if
to the
you
back
look,
of the book.
you have to go to the back of the book to take a look at them. My 2 domains are going to be Codex and Splendor. I get to try to remember. I'll read a little bit of wherever that is. Okay, so Codex is the domain of intensive magical study. Those who seek magical knowledge turn to equations of power recorded in books, written on scrolls, etched into walls, and tattooed on bodies. Codex offers a commanding and versatile understanding of magic to devotees who pursue knowledge beyond the boundaries of common wisdom. And then I also have Splendor, Splendor is the domain of life. Through this magic, followers gain the ability to heal and to an extent control over control over death. Splendor offers its disciples the magnificent ability to both give and end life. Damn. Okay. Okay. And then what are your 2 domains?
Is that on the character sheet?
Yes. So at the
Where do I
top
see-
left
okay.
corner, where it
Oh,
says
the mid. Okay,
yes.
so midnight and grace.
So your
Okay.
midnight.
So
Do you have it on page 24?
It says,
Just
midnight is the
amazing.
domain of shadows and secrecy. Whether by clever tricks, deft magic, or the cloak of night, those who channel these forces practice the art of obscurity and can uncover sequestered treasures. Midnight offers practitioners the power to control and create enigmas.
What?
And then Grace. The Grace is the domain of charisma. Through rapturous storytelling, charming spells, or a shroud of lies, those who channel this power define the realities of their adversaries, bending perception to their will. Grace offers its wielders raw magnetism and mastery over language.
No way.
Interesting. So two very different domains.
Yeah, but like it might be like a well-versed character with a lot of things to go for. So if I'm getting this now. Bing, bang. Now I get to play with the cards here. That's why I was so excited about it, because I got to pull out my physical card now. I'm trying to find a certain.
I like a mix between Magic and D&D, at least with the cards.
Honestly, yeah. That there. Why can't I find? Okay, I'm losing it here. Whoa.
I feel like Marianne might like DaggerHeart more than actually just playing D&D. Because
I say
her,
we try it.
yeah, because her thing is she wants to have physical things to see.
Yeah.
And with the cards, I feel like that would make
Make it a lot easier. No, because look at this. So look at this. So look at this. How many times can I say that? Now, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do this correctly on the camera. So if I go off of my character so far, I am a fairy. So I have a fairy card that tells me pretty much what my fairy can do. Can you see that at all?
Yeah.
So I have Luck Bender. Once per session after you or a willing ally within close range makes an action roll, I can spend 3 hope to re-roll the duality die. And I have Wings, I can fly, and while flying I can mark a stress after an adversary makes an attack against you. I gain a +2 bonus to my evasion. I am Loreborn, and so I have a card from my Loreborn that just gives me the well-read. I have an advantage on rolls that involve the history, culture, and politics. And then I also have my class card, my School of Knowledge. I don't know if you can see that. That also tells me that I have a pair. Take an additional domain card of your level or lower with a domain you have access to. And Adept, when you utilize an experience, you can mark a stress instead of spending a hope. If you do, double your experience bonus. What? Hold on, wait a second. So instead of using my experience, where was this supposed to be? I have no clue where this was supposed to be. This was supposed to be somewhere, but instead of using a hope, I can mark a stress for my experience, and that increases my experience to +4 instead of +2 for my roll. And as you get further and further in the tier system, actually I don't know if foundation happens now, but you can get a foundation in like my wizard School of Knowledge. I can then go into a specialization, which gives me more kind of class features, and then I can go into mastery. And so at mastery, when I'm like level 10, I have honed expertise. When you use an experience, roll a d6. On the result 5 or higher, you can use it without spending a hope. Or I can take an additional domain card of your level or lower with a domain you have access to. I'm trying to remember when I pulled the foundation card. I'm not completely sure. But either way, my two classes were, where is it? It was Codex and Splendor. So I can take the Codex level 1 cards. And are you looking at the cards at the bottom of the...
Yeah.
Okay.
At the,
And then
back of the book.
a Splendor level 1 card. So the cards I have to choose from in the Splendor category, I have Bolt Beacon. I can make a spellcasting roll against a target within far range. On a success, spend a hope to send a bolt of shimmering light towards them, dealing D8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency. The target becomes temporarily vulnerable and glows brightly until this condition is cleared. I'm pretty sure vulnerable just means that anyone who's attacking them has an advantage. Oh, along with your duality die, there is a D6 that should be included as well, which is your advantage or disadvantage die. When you roll with advantage, you'll roll the 2d8s, your duality die, plus the d6, and you'll add that d6 to your roll. If you're rolling with disadvantage, you'll just subtract that d6 to the duality die, if that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah.
I also have Mending Touch. I can lay my hands upon a creature and channel healing magic. I can, when you take a few moments to focus on a target you're helping, you can spend 2 hope to clear a hit point or stress from them. Once per long rest, when you spend this healing time learning something new about them or revealing something about... Oh, shoot. and then little bits like here and there, you get like flavor added into it. Once per long rest, when you spend this healing time learning something new about them or revealing something about yourself, you can clear 2 hit points or 2 stress on them instead. And so so I can either just kind of sit there and spend 2 hope to clear a hit point or stress, or if we turn it into a character building moment, I can reveal something about my character or learn something about the character that I'm healing from, and I can clear 2 hit points or 2 stress. And so I am incentivized to continue the narrative almost, or to dive deeper into my player. I also have Reassurance. Once per long rest, after an ally attempts an action roll, but before the consequence takes place, you can offer assistance or words of support. When you do, your ally can re-roll their dice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. I like it. And now I get actually my spell. Oh, what? So each of these Codex ones are grimoires. So each one of my Codex cards come with 3 spells. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can see these cards.
Yeah. Yeah.
These are. And so the Book of Ava, I have Power Push, Hava's Armor, and Ice Spike. With the Book of Iliad, I have Slumber, Arcane Barrage, and Telepathy. And with the Book of Hyphar, I have Wild Flame, Magic Hand, and Mysterious Mist. Damn, some of these are freaking cool. Okay, so
they're very. The art is very cool.
The art is super cool. I'm gonna pick Mending Touch for my Splendor. I mean, you can choose 2 from the same domain, but I'm gonna split it up between 2, at least for me. And then I'm gonna spend a hope to give a target you can touch a +1 bonus to their armor score until their next rest. Ice Spike or Power Push, Slumber, Arcane, or spend a number of hope and shoot magical projectiles that strike a target of your choice. Spend a hope to open a line of mental communication with 1 target you see. This connection lasts until your next rest, or you can cast telepathy again. I'm gonna go Book of Iliad with Slumber, Arcane Barrage, and Telepathy, and that'll be my 2 cards. Now, if I'm trying to remember when we use the foundation. I don't know if you just start with the foundation or you have to earn the foundation at all. But what are your cards? What are your cards? I'm interested to hear.
No idea. Okay, let me see. Okay. So, well, I know. Okay, foundation. Okay. Okay, well, I know I'm a Nightwalker rogue. So, that's 1 card. That is, make a spellcast roll. On a success, create a temporary dark cloud that covers any area within close range. Anyone in this cloud can't see outside of it, and anyone outside of it can't see in. You're considered cloaked from any adversary from whom the cloud blocks line of sight. And then there's adrenaline. While you're vulnerable, add your level to your damage rolls. That's my specialization, I believe.
That's cool.
And then, because it wouldn't be mastery, right? It would just be the specialization one.
So those are the 3 different tiers that you can go into. It starts with foundation, specialization, then mastery. I'm for the life of me, I'm trying to figure out where.
Oh no. Okay, never mind then. Mine's the foundation. I would assume.
Hold on. 1 second. I think I found it.
Yes. Go ahead.
So you can multi-class, but if you choose to upgrade your subclass to one of the newer ones, then you can't multi-class anymore. I swear, I've scoured this book for the foundation, the specialization and mastery, and I haven't found any information. The one place I saw it was in the DaggerHeart video on leveling up. You went over it briefly, so give me 1 second while I pull up the video and watch it really quickly. It's like 3 minutes long. Oh, hello, Matt Mercer. 3 minutes long. Let's see, where is... I'm gonna watch it on 2 times speed. When you look at your domain cards, 1 second. Okay, so I believe you can pick. So you start off with the foundation card. You start off with the school. So, for example, I have the School of Knowledge foundation card. At level 5, you can choose the specialization card to upgrade your subclass. And at level 8, you can choose the mastery card. So you start off with the foundation, which also means that technically my foundation, I'm allowed to take an additional domain card. And so I'm actually going to come back here and pick out a second grimoire, the Book of Ava. So I have 2 grimoires I can take a look at. Okay. And so, which means that you have the Nightwalker Foundation card, and you can go off of that Nightwalker Foundation card.
If I go there... That is, okay, the foundation card. So Shadow Step, so my spellcast trait is Finesse. And then Shadow Step, where you can move from shadow to shadow when you move into an area of darkness or a shadow cast by another creature or object. You can mark a stress to disappear from where you are and reappear inside another shadow within far range. When you reappear, you are cloaked.
Oh yeah.
That's that one. And then my... Let's see. Community, the Highborn. So being part of a Highborn community means you're accustomed to a life of elegance, opulence, and prestige within the upper echelons of society. So privilege, you have advantage on rolls to consort with nobles, negotiate prices, or leverage your reputation to get what you want.
What? So cool.
And then my Fun Grill. So I can make an instinct roll to use Myleal array to speak with others of your ancestry. On a success, you can communicate across any distance. I'm assuming that's like the interwebbing, like
Yeah.
the ground.
You can talk to other mushroom people.
Oh, that's cool. And then death connection. While touching a corpse that died recently, you can mark a stress to extract one memory from the corpse related to a specific emotion or sensation of your choice.
Huh. Interesting.
And then I don't know if I have any other cards from there.
So what page are you looking at?
I'm looking at 386.
386.
That's where the cards started.
I was hoping you'd be there because if you go to where is it? Yes, if you go to 328, page 328 is going to be, well, technically in the PDF format it's 329, but page 328 is going to be the appendix for all of the domain card references, which means that we can scroll down to, for example, where like midnight is. Because yours is Midnight and Grace. So Grace appears first on page 334. So you have a couple of level 1. You have 3 level 1 cards to look at. Death Deceiver, Enrapture, and Inspirational Words. Go ahead and take a look at those.
Okay.
And you'll notice a recall cost. So just before you start kind of looking into those things. At any time, I'm trying to remember what the number is, you can have a certain amount of active domain cards. During a short or long rest, you can switch those cards out with other ones to it's like preparing spells, where you have a number of spells you know, but only some can be prepared at a time. That recall cost is the amount of stress required for you to switch out the that domain card, like in play, outside of a short or long rest. Does that make sense?
I think so. Oh, and then if I'm going to pick a midnight, I think I'm going to go midnight domain, so I'll do...
Ooh. Oh yeah, pick and pull.
I'm going to go pick and pull.
Pick and pull, hell yeah.
You have advantage on... It doesn't have a recall cost, and you have advantage on action rolls to pick non-magical locks, disarm non-magical traps, or steal items from a target, either through stealth or by force.
It's an armed robbery in this game.
Yes.
Oh, the Rain of Blades. That art is really, really cool. I'll see if I can kind of... Rain of
That
Blades.
is cool.
Okay, keep on reading. Keep on reading at level 1. I don't want to take your. I don't want to steal your thunder.
Oh, that. Do you want me to read all of them or just that one?
Just all the level 1s.
Okay, so, then there's Rain of Blades. It has a recall cost of 1, so you spend a hope to make a spellcast roll and conjure throwing blades that strike out at all targets within very close range. Targets you succeed against take d8 plus 2 magic damage using your proficiency. If a target you hit is vulnerable, they take an extra 1d8 damage. And then Uncanny Disguise. When you have a few minutes to prepare, you can mark a stress to don the facade of any humanoid you can picture clearly in your mind. While this... Interesting.
It's crazy.
Okay.
You can like changeling it up.
Yeah, and I'm thinking like, I could imagine like being with like in the garden, you know, and like seeing like if there were parties, seeing all these nobles pass by. But while disguised, you have advantage on presence rolls to avoid scrutiny. Place a number of tokens equal to your spellcast trait on this card. When you take an action while disguised, spend a token from this card. After the action that spends, the last token is resolved. That disguise drops.
Interesting. So you'll like stay in disguise, and so you're level 1. You'll have 1 token on there. When you do an action roll as a person disguised, and after that roll, then the token like breaks, for instance, and then the disguise drops. That'd be crazy, trying to like get into a place and using the disguise, but like the disguise is failing or like
Yeah.
falling, like acting, you have to like kind of get around it.
It's like
I hear my
the
footsteps outside.
movie
I don't know if it's my dog or if it's something else. But yeah, continue.
for like the Dungeons and Dragons movie
Yeah.
where it's like just casting that thing.
And it's
that-
like
he's
kind of like
playing.
failing. It's like looking
Yeah.
weird. Oh man, that's cool. All right, so which cards are you choosing? Which 2 domain cards are you picking?
I think I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do the Uncanny Disguise and the Pick and Pull.
That's cool. I love that. Okay. Hell yeah. And interestingly enough, in the book, underneath step 8, choosing your domain cards, it says that if like you're playing a character, if 2 people are playing characters that have a shared domain, it is strongly encouraged that they pick different cards. Like almost like each table shares like the same kind of deck, and like they pick different cards, just for more of a wide range. It's easier to like have each character have the spotlight, which is a mechanical like term they use in this book, the spotlight. There's not really traditional turns, but like you're passing around the spotlight to different characters and everything.
Oh, interesting.
And so it's saying that characters with shared domains should pick different cards, just to like have like a diverse table, which I think is really cool. Like it really is like I freaking love this system. I don't know why, but also I was curious. Do you think that that Critical Role's next campaign is going to be in Dungeons and Dragons, or do you think they're going to completely like move on to DaggerHeart now?
I know.
I'm curious. Before you begin, I think that Age of Umbra is going to be like a test run to see if like people can get down with the DaggerHeart system, and I think if it does well, like I understand that they have like a partnership with D&D Beyond, and like they have like they're in cahoots with Dungeons and Dragons, but I'm curious if they're gonna kind of start using their own. It only makes sense to use their own system.
Yeah.
But continue.
I've heard, different things. I feel like, I'm on the Reddit page for Critical Role.
Oh yeah.
And
we're only
people
the
have
true news is.
Yes, people have very strong opinions on whether or not, like, what will happen if they go into DaggerHeart. I personally really liked their one-shot that they did, their Christmas one-shot.
The Christmas one? I forgot about the Christmas one.
I thought it was really fun, and it was still the kind of the same vibe. So I can see them doing the Age of Umbra as a test run, to see if they could still keep their viewers. But then it's like, if they do DaggerHeart, I feel like they have to do a complete, like, there goes Exandria. They're like done with all of that. Because I don't know how you can incorporate DaggerHeart into this
like,
world.
All of a sudden, there's all this
made.
new stuff, and and like the world works differently. I guess it just kind of comes down to, when it comes to Critical Role fans, are they Critical Role fans? Are they Dungeons and Dragons fans, or are they tabletop roleplay fans? Are they okay with just anything happening?
Some people have said that if they went to DaggerHeart, they are going to stop watching Critical Role, which I feel like is rather drastic. Because I like Critical Role for the people for Critical Role. I think they're very talented voice actors. And I could honestly, I feel like I could watch them play anything. If anything, I feel like DaggerHeart is faster paced, but maybe it's just because it was the one shot. But I don't know. I feel like they might lose some fans if they went DaggerHeart, but I don't think they would lose enough for it to really matter.
Yeah, I can see that. That makes sense. All right. Well, I'm taking a look here. I mean, the last one is creating your connections. And this is when the players would go back and forth and like decide who they are bonded with amongst the other characters and everything. I mean, theoretically, for our one shot, it's just you. You don't get any connections. I'm sorry about that. Just because Firefly isn't going to be there. But that would be where we would set our connection. But other than that, our characters are completely finished. And that's character creation.
Maybe I'll try to get Mary into this.
You'll see if we can discuss. We might be able to pull it off, and we can do the little little quick start adventure. We'll
No,
kind
I
of go
might
from
just
there.
have to buy those cards, or at
The
least print
cards
them off
are
so
so
she can
cool.
have them.
The cards are very cool, but yeah, no, definitely. But that I think is going to be our session 0. I do got to run a little bit just because it sounds like some people are waking up in my house. But I freaking love this system, and I'm really excited to like play it and see it actually in action because I've been reading about it for who knows how long, and getting excited about it. So we will we'll see. And I guess that means that maybe next week we're going to be doing the actual session. So maybe this DaggerHeart thing will become a multi-week process. But I totally was so excited to get into all of my business that I forgot all of the beginning stuff. Um, if you don't want to watch us, or if you don't want to, if you fell asleep during this, audio only versions and as well as the recorded version will be posted on the various platforms. If you've been watching now, then if you're watching up until now, you know where to find them. If this is your first thing because you're interested in DaggerHeart, head to YouTube. Head to oh perfect commenters that did not fall asleep. They were intrigued the entire time. Go ahead and go to YouTube, check out all our stuff. Check out our DaggerHeart when we actually do the quick start adventure next week at the same time, and we'll get things going from there. But I thank you so much for anyone that's been watching, anyone that's watching the audio only and the YouTube fun, and we'll see you next week.